Welcome to the strategic deep dive into one of the Sri Lanka's most iconic and diversified corporate giants, Aitken Spence PLC. So today I'll be doing a podcast with 15 minutes for y'all to explore how its strategy, direction, market moves, internal culture, and financial discipline come together to shape long-term success. With a history spanning over 150 years and operations in 12 countries, the group represents a story of resilience, innovation, and sustainability. At the heart of Icon Spence lies a powerful strategic vision to be regionally competitive powerhouse. This vision is forward-looking, aspirational, and reflects what stakeholders hope the company will become in the future. In contrast, the mission anchors the company to the present, like creating wealth or maybe driving economic growth and embedding environmental and social governance in everyday business. So, operating across 17 segments in 12 countries, this dual focuses on future aspiration and present execution, which defines Icon Spence's corporate direction. Internally, Icon Spence benefits from legacy strength, sectorial diversity, and a globally trained workforce. So these strengths are balanced against fractional complexity and overdependence on the tourism sector. Externally, the business navigates political and economic uncertainty, but also taps into the post-COVID recovery, renewable energy expansion, and Sri Lanka's re-industrialization. Pestle analysis shows how Icon Spence is highly responsive to sustainability trends and global regulatory standards, particularly through its COP28 engagements and SBTi commitments. When we evaluate Icon Spence using the POTIS 5 process and the competitive strategies, we find a portfolio approach. The logistics sector follows an overall low-cost provider strategy, emphasizing efficiency and integration. The tourism sector employs a broad differentiation strategy through experimental branding, such as Heritage Tea Factory. Focused low-cost and focused differentiation strategies apply to services like BPO and energy. A best cost hybrid model is evident in education via the Scenic Campus. So as you all see, the VRM framework, the lens, shows the capabilities in hotel management, waste to energy and internal port operations which are rare, valuable, immutable, confirming sustainable competitive advantage. Spence exhibits a proactive and offensive strategic posture, so that can be understood through the adoption of competitive strategy diagram. The company was a first mover in several domains. For an example, if I could tell you, Maldives tourism, overseas port management in Fiji, and renewable energy through Sri Lanka's first waste to energy project. The timing of its market entries shows a calculated approach to capturing emerging opportunities ahead of competitors. Scope-wise, the company spans both vertical and horizontal integrations. If you all could see the product strategy, it has overall low-cost provider, the broad differentiation strategy, focused low-cost strategy, focused differentiation strategy, and best cross-provider strategy. As an Aitken Spence, they implemented all of these with related or maybe a more relevant way to show that. For an example, if you could say broad differentiation strategy, Aitken Spence themed hotels like Heritage Tea Factory or maybe Eco Resorts, also with a strong brand equity, it developed its differentiation. If you could say the focused low-cost strategy, it did some query services like focusing on SMEs or maybe cost-sensitive clients with lean operations and also targeting specific cost-sensitive buyers in the apparel manufacturing. The strategic action, timing, and scope of action. Scope-wise, the company spans both vertical and horizontal integrations, from destination management to real estate, and from freight logistics to education. So strategic alliances and PPPs further expand its reach without overstretching internal resources. Execution is where strategy meets operation. So Aitken Spence, what is it does is demonstrate a well-balanced diversification strategy by combining both related and unrelated diversification. So related businesses like hotels or maybe logistics or maybe travel can benefit from strategic fit and operational synergies. But these unrelated ventures like let's say SANAC or the SANAC campus or maybe the April and the money transfer serve as a risk mitigating diversification. The company enters new businesses via acquisitions or maybe let's say internal startups, joint ventures, and choosing based on the entry barriers and capital needs. So it's a six-step evaluation framework ensures that alignment across the business units, allowing high performance to grow and weaker areas to be reconstructed. With over 16,500 employees, as you all can see, across 12 countries, including 41.6% female representation, Icon Spence is more central toward execution capability. This group uses a matrix structure, centralized services as their strategic services. In order to build the competitive capabilities, it has developed internally with a waste to energy capability system, acquired logistics subsidiaries and international hotels, and also it had a collaborative of public-private partnerships like SENEC academic alliances. The group uses a matrix structure, a centralized strategic services paired with decentralized business unit autonomy. Each of the four key sectors has its own leadership, ownership or own leadership team. This drives operations guided by the group level committees. So talent development is supported through in-house learning platforms in institutions like SENEC. The company's approach to structuring work delegation, outsourcing, and strategic partnership demonstrates flexibility without losing control. Culture at Icon Spence is value driven and forward looking. The core values like reliability, transparency, and integrity shape internal norms and external relationships. It's a performance driven yet ethical culture where peer accountability and value based behavior are emphasized. If we focus on the leadership has played a pivotal role. Under the late ages, Javaradhan, the company laid its foundation for transformation. Today, Stashani Javaradhan leads the group with a focus on ESG, digitalization, and stakeholder inclusivity. Strategic decisions are no longer just boardroom plans, they reflect ground level cultural alignment. If you all want me to talk about the numbers, we have the financial analysis done here. So the Icon Spence financial performance reflects disciplined execution. In 2024-25, it has reported rupees 95.1 billion in revenue, rupees 7.1 billion in profit after tax, and a 61% increase has happened. In the return on equity, it has nearly doubled, and earnings per share rose from rupees 7.2.1 to 13.13. Dividends remain stable, indicating investor confidence. These numbers were achieved despite a 2% dip in revenue thanks to strong cost controls and tourism logistics recovery. When benchmarked against peers, Icon Spence diversified structure provides resilience against sector-specific downturns. It doesn't just react to markets, it just balances across all of its portfolio in tourism, maritime strategy, and services. So, from strategy formulation to people, from diversification discipline to finance, Aitken Spence business story is not just about managing complexity. It's about mastering it, I believe, because few companies in the region match its scale and multi-sector presence. Its adaptive strategies, or maybe let's say cultural alignment, and the governance structure collectively enable sustainable growth. So, in a turbulent global space, Space continues to evolve not reactive but strategically, definitely. So, thank you for listening to this podcast for about 15 minutes and the strategy journey through the Aitken Spence PLC. So, if this explanation sparked any interest in how the strategy, culture, leadership coverage in the real world business, stay tuned for more. Because until then, this was the strategy break 15 minutes of insight powered by purpose. Thank you so much.